Hello again and welcome back everybody to another edition of the Row Report. I am your Royal 2IC and we are going to do our daily headlines report, but got a few things to say really quickly, and I know some of you love it, so I'm just gonna knock a couple of things out real quick. First is over on the merchandise store. Our friends over at JK Survival and Bushcraft uh, went ahead and teamed up, and we did do a limited edition coffee mug for him. I can knock that glare off. There we go. I think it turned out beautifully. This one is mine, so if you want your own, you're gonna have to go over there and get it. This one's mine. But for tomorrow's workshop Wednesday live stream, we are going to play some games, and it's going to be this week and next week. So for the next two live streams, we're going to play some games and give away some Christmas prizes, one of which you guys have seen is this. See if I can block, oh, there we go. The official Royal Report coffee mug printed on both sides, so if you are right or left. And the new one that I'm really excited about is the Be Ready, Stay Ready. Get my fingers out of the way so you can see it. I think these turned out beautifully. It is red inside with the red handle. And then I also have a limited edition Christmas one. It has not come in yet, so I can't show it off, but you will get them new and all that. These are mine, so if you want to try and win one, all you gotta do is just be present in live stream, and throughout the live stream we'll play a couple of games. I do have other prizes to give away, so there's going to be multiple chances to win a few different things. So if you do not win and you want any of those items, you can go down in the description section and you can pick up one of those, in which in every order, if things work out correctly, I have added the official thank you card, so you will get that if you place an order, hopefully. All right, let's jump straight into this one because there was a ton of news. So let's start out. So Zelensky came to the United States, to the White House, for an official visit today, during of which looks like Ukraine was hit with a massive cyber attack while he was here. Interesting timing. And then the bee-ridden guy announces a $200 million aid package for him. And then Mr. Zelensky, during his speech, tells the U.S. senators that they are considering conscripting men 40 years of age and older to assist in front lines. Now, I'm not even 40 yet. I know I probably look a lot older, but I'm not even 40 yet. And so technically, I would be on the front lines if I was over there. So yeah, it gives you something to think about, that if something was to happen to here, how old are you? So I know there's a lot of talk about, it wasn't that long ago they're going to reenact the draft and all this other stuff. Well, this has gone on long enough that they've done all that, and now they're going for us older guys. So, data point. Next, it looks like a commercial vessel went up into flames after being struck by at least one cruise missile fired by the Houthis, after they did not comply with the demands of the Houthis. This was a tanker vessel named the, I think it's the Strida, if I pronounce that right, I don't know. And it looks like reports have come out that there's been no injuries or minor injuries and no casualties. There's been a lot that has come out. I have seen some fake news about this, where they were showing the pictures of this vessel actually on fire, and then they were trying to spin it and say that It was actually an Israeli warship, and it got struck and it sunk and all this other stuff. As far as I can tell, it's completely fake. It's just somebody trying to raise a whole bunch of clickbait and whatnot. But this one definitely, this tanker was hit. So, moving on. Looks like the U.S. might be punishing Saudi Arabia. And this comes after congressional Democrats have prepared a resolution, and this would make the Secretary of State to request information to see if Saudi Arabia is indeed violating human rights. Now, this is important because if it turns out that they are indeed violating human rights, then all U.S. military assistance would immediately stop. And that's important because where they are situated and what's going on currently over in the Middle East, if the Houthis decide, which they have made a bunch of threats, that they will go through Saudi to get to the current war in Gaza and with Israel and all that, so that way they can attack Israel. And this puts Saudi at a disadvantage because the U.S. is not there to help. Now, the U.S. is nuclear capable, and so there's a lot of talk and a lot of speculation that if this does indeed happen, that Saudi would probably look into becoming nuclear armed itself, which is just what we need, more nuclear armed countries. So, data point on that one. Okay, that could actually turn into something kind of big. And I don't know if there's a whole lot of people covering that one. There's a few in this this report that I don't see a whole lot of people covering. So buckle up. Now, there is some reports coming out that Israel has secured full U.S. support for a major ground operations. And they are also apparently trying to get reduction of international pressure. I don't know how the U.S. could even begin to make that promise of lowering international pressure. We'll see in the coming days. I don't know on that one. It was just an interesting data point I wanted to throw in there. The next one that's interesting is a Taiwan Army pilot allegedly plotted to steal a Chinook helicopter and defect to China. Now, in turn, it looks like from their intelligence, he was doing this for about $15 million and tickets to, I forget where, Vietnam or something like that, Thailand. He was going to steal this Chinook and fly it out and land on a Chinese aircraft carrier. And apparently he was found out and arrested. So we'll see. Now, there's a lot that can go into this. It might be something that turns into something big. This might just be the end of the story. We'll just kind of keep our eye on it and see if anything else happens in that area. Next, it looks like news has come out that the Russian military will be placing missile defense systems in 3 countries, and so they will putting them into combat service in Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. And that's kind of interesting because of the placements of all these. So are they gearing up for something, or is this, because you don't just willy-nilly throw those things around. There's a strategic purpose behind them. So another data point, keep your eye on. Speaking of Russia, looks like Russian hackers have allegedly hacked the domain in Las Vegas, and they posted some messages announcing a direct line to Putin on December 14th. So that's only a few days away. So we don't have long to wait to see if anything even comes of this or what it's all about. And it looks like one of the ones that I saw, at least on social media, was that LED sphere thing that they have out there. If you've seen videos where it turns into like a giant eyeball and blinks and all that, there was a message that was scrolling around it saying December 14th and all this other stuff. So From what it looks like, it's real, but again, it's one of those wait and see moments. It's just an interesting data point. We'll wait and see what happens. So next, I read this report, and I wanted to throw this in here because I found this to be quite interesting. So out of this report, it basically did a little analysis, and from it, they have determined that the British military has about 150 tanks left in its arsenal and maybe a dozen long-range artillery. Then it moved to France, and it said that France has less than 90 heavy artillery. Moved to Denmark. Denmark has absolutely no heavy artillery, no submarines, and no air defense systems capabilities whatsoever. And then lastly, in the analysis, the report showed that Germany has about enough ammunition for about 2 days of intense fighting. So all these people that are saying, Russia might continue on and roll right through Europe, I have denounced that, going, I don't see them wanting to do that. It's just, and I could be wrong. Maybe that's the whole plan. But if France, Germany, Denmark, all these don't have anything, they're at the bottom of the barrel, it kind of makes it more tempting. So we'll see. Maybe I'm going to be wrong about this one. I still stand that I don't see, continuing on. I just don't see it, but we'll see what happens. Next, let's move here into the homeland. So a California-based moving company was out touting about its young, buff employees. Okay. Well, that company is now currently being sued by the United States federal government for, are you ready for this? For age discrimination. Okay. So I know it's a little silly, but there's your US tax dollars going to waste because of age discrimination, because 60-year-old men want to go move furniture around. So I don't know. The whole tax thing is a whole mini series on I'm not even going to get started on taxes. Next, if you haven't seen it, I think this is on TikTok. Somebody had to show it to me. There was a video that a woman put out. She's here in the United States, and she was picking up in the store and showing the prices of slices of watermelon, and they were all above $14. And this wasn't a whole watermelon. This wasn't half a watermelon. This was like maybe a quarter slice of a watermelon. And it was like $14.08 and $14.16 and $14.26. And for a quarter slice of watermelon, a few weeks ago, well, probably maybe like a month and a half ago or longer, I can go out back and just pick my own watermelon. So, yeah. I don't know where she was. I didn't read too much into it, but I would venture to guess maybe California, but data point. So let me move over so I can show the picture of this one. So yesterday, a 6-story building in the Bronx, which is in New York, partially collapsed yesterday. So far, in all the reports that I have seen that have come out about it, there is no casualties. I did see that the first responders was doing a kind of a threat assessment, looking for anybody that might be trapped or anything along those lines. So far, I haven't seen anything out that anybody was killed or anything in that. So we'll wait and see what comes. Usually the first 24 hours, 36 hours, you get things all over the place. And so we'll wait a day or two and we'll see what actually unfolds. Next, it looks like the U.S. House of Representatives Committee of Rules has approved a resolution to authorize a further investigation to impeach the resident. So apparently that's going to happen tomorrow. So we'll see what that comes on. I spoke about that yesterday, so I'm not going to retout about that. And we'll move into the last one. So it looks like the nation's largest pharmacy chains, this will include CVS Health, Kroger, and Rite Aid, have handed over America's prescription records to law enforcement and different government agencies without a warrant. Now, this was pulled out by a congressional investigation, and I believe the Washington Post was the one that broke this story. I haven't seen too much and anything, at least mainstream media, covering on this. So if you have been to any one of those, a CVS, a Kroger, a Rite Aid, or anything, and picked up a prescription, congratulations. Your information has now been passed on without a warrant or without your knowledge up until now, where I'm telling you it has. So it's just more breach of privacy. You get the illusion of being free, but we are so spied upon. I'm kind of doing a dive into, if I want to put out how much we're being spied on. And most of you know it anyway. The way that your phone is sitting, on the kitchen counter, you're talking to your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, friend, neighbor, whatever, and you say something along the lines of, wow, a good hamburger sounds really good about now. And then you pick up your phone, and as soon as you turn it on, here comes 15 ads about hamburgers and recipes and sales going on in the closest restaurant and all this other stuff. So, but there's a lot more stuff out there that maybe people don't know about. A lot of it is the spy balloons that we own. That is third-party, non-military. There is the ones that are military. There's devices called Stingray and Dirtbox, and I think there's one or two other ones. And not only can they pull data to where they basically substitute as a cellular tower or a satellite, so where your signal is here and you're trying to send a message to me here, it doesn't shoot across. It goes up and it hits a cell tower or a satellite, hits it, and then redirects it back to me. Well, whatever is up here, this balloon, aircraft, whatever, they would do a little circle or do a little thing. You would send that text message. It would go up here. They would capture it, make a copy of it, and then send it down to me. Well, with the new technology, and it's not new, it's been out for a decade and a half, if not more. Now, instead of being able to only pull data, they can push data as well. So if you don't understand, in a very small, short layman's terms, if I send a picture of me giving you the thumbs up, they can steal that image. Well, now, and not now because it's not new, your phone can be turned off on your nightstand next to your bed, and they can take that image, do whatever they want with it, and push it into your phone without you even knowing. Now, yeah, I know that's not nefarious, because who wants a picture of me doing this? But imagine what other images, video, media, text messages can be pushed into your phone that makes it look like you looked it up, like you downloaded it, like you wrote it. So just a little something to think about. I know I got a little off topic off that one. So, but there's a lot. And to wrap this up, you guys have been reaching out to me. I've gotten some wonderful emails today, especially about today's video that came out a few hours ago. Some of you wrote about experiences you had, about how you were getting different family members involved. Some of you made them public. Some of them you sent them to me in private. There was one of you that gave me some really, really good resources, especially involving how to get children involved and things like that, which I wrote down all that info and I'm looking into it, and I may make a video just basically on, how to get kids involved, because it's really good information. So we'll go on from that. So again, if you guys have any of those stories, if you guys want me to look into something, if there's something that you think I need to be made aware of, if you want my opinion on something, anything along those lines, feel free to reach out. You can do it publicly, you can do it privately, it doesn't matter. I get back to just about every single one of you guys anyway. So I just want to make sure that that's out there. The next thing that I want to quickly say is that if you will notice, probably somewhere down here, it'll say join. I'm kicking the thing around on, because it's now tier 1 monetization, that I made a membership for this channel. It is 99 cents. And right now, it gives you basically nothing. You're going to get a little thing that says you're a member. It doesn't really give you a whole lot, so don't join, really, to be honest with you, until I get things up and running. I can really offer you some benefits in doing it. I was talking with some friends that are monetized and different things, especially watching Pinball's video this morning on the amazing things he was able to do for his local community, basically taking most of the monetization that he gets here from YouTube. And it gave me some inspiration. I was really not wanting to go monetized, because the point of this is not for me to make money. I'm not trying to sell myself. I'm not an expert in anything. I just want to be motivational. I want to bring you some things, and I want to be very general and very kind of just level. You got to pick out the specifics. I want to put that idea into your head. You take it and you use it however you need to use it. If a video speaks to you, great. If it doesn't, no hard feelings. Every video I put out is not going to be specifically geared towards you. So you pick and pull the pieces of it that is useful. Take some of the things, do the prepper homework that I give, take some of the things and use it to help you, or use it to help some others. And, the pieces that you already know, or it's old news, it's okay. You can skip on by it. It's just fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings in any way. And so that's kind of my point. This is a channel for new preppers. And so therefore I got to keep it here, so that way you can do it. Everybody's situation's different. And so I try and keep it that way, to where everything's very simple, very plain, and I want you to think. Okay? You've got a brain up here. This is about the most free thing that you have. Use it to your advantage. It costs you nothing to think, and it's going to greatly benefit you to use your head for everything. Okay? Don't go buy something because I go, hey, you got to buy this now. This will save your life when the world goes down and the balloon goes up. This right here is no. Okay? I don't know how many times I've told you guys, if you want it, go ahead and get it. If you don't, I have mine and I'm happy, and that's all I wanted. But real quick on the whole thing, basically what I'm going to try and do is any of the money that I get from super stickers, from super chats, from any of the merchandise, from memberships and things like that, I'm going to start pulling it together, and I'm going to figure out what the best way to do with it. I'm not rich by any means, but I have a position in my life to where I'm okay, and so I don't need the extra money. Could I use it? Yeah, I could use that money and go build me an underground bunker somewhere, but there's other people that need help, and so I'm going to try and figure out a way to get creative and make it to where it's going to be good for the person that wants to contribute. I want you to get something out of it, and a way to where it's not, me demanding, send me $500 now. That's why, like, this coffee mug, I think, is like $5. you know, what, go to Walmart. What's a coffee mug out there? You know, we're at about $5. So, but that's kind of the whole reason why I'm kind of kicking that idea around, and we'll see what comes of it. We've already made some money off the merchandise of different things. There is a few of you that, for whatever reason, want something with a logo on it, which great. But we'll see as time moves on, as some of the money starts to build up. We'll figure out a good avenue in order to put it into the hands of maybe some people that really need it. So, all right, guys, I've taken up enough of your time. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. And it's Tuesday here, and that means Mrs. Rural is in the kitchen somewhere in the house here. And it's Taco Tuesday, so I'm going to go eat some yummy tacos. With that, I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And above everything else, please remember to remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.